What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from I'm a Music Mobile. Welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to go ahead and remake from scratch F.I.C.O by Clipse and Steve God Cooks. Tempo for this one is 79 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Pharrell Williams. So most of the sounds in this track is drums. So let's start with the drums and then we'll get to the other instruments. So for that, I'm going to bring in a drum kit here. I'm going to go to my F.I.C.O drum kit. It is part of the Let God Sort Him Out kit, deconstructed kit. Link for that kit will be down below if you're interested in the Let God Sort Him Out drum sounds. So here are all the sounds that we'll be using in this track. Also included in the kit is, of course, all the other drum sounds from all the other tracks on the album. So let's start off with the 808. It's just a 1-bar pattern that pretty much loops itself for the entire record. Let's get to that kick. There's a couple kicks in this pattern or in this song, so we're just gonna start off with the first one. It's just this really cool sounding kick. Let's get to that second kick. Next, let's get to some snares. I'm gonna start off with the snare 1 here, and I'm just gonna put on the 2 and 4s. Let's put in that secondary snare. Next, let's get to the open hat and shaker. All right, and then we get a shaker in there as well. And then we get like a little hi-hat roll happening in there. And we're just going to paint 2 in there. And that same sound is going to happen here as well. And then we'll add in 2 more elements to round out this drum pattern. So first things first is this this rib sound happens at the end of the pattern. So right before it ends, we'll just take that one out. Make sure it's at the end of the 64-step pattern. So at the end of the 4 bars. Get a ride that happens in the background. All right, so that's it for the drums. Next, let's get to the brass. All right, so right here, I got the 1-shot sample of the brass from the song. So I'm just gonna use it here in this remake. So what we're gonna do is just place it on the F, and then it's gonna go up to the G here. And we'll stretch this out. Oh, that's not on the G. And we'll stretch this out. Cool tip for using 1-shots here in Logic: if the sound drops out right at the end, you don't have to create a loop point. Sometimes you could just fix it by turning on flex mode here and follow the tempo. Now take a listen to the sound. It's going to be fully stretched out and won't drop out at the end here. That we hear in the track, or it's not really a choir, it's like a single sort of person singing something. It might have been Pharrell for all I know, I'm not sure. All right, and we're just going to manipulate the actual audio file to fit the melody. So because the 1-shot is not that long, I can only take a small piece from the track. We're going to stretch that out to make it work. So we're going to hold down our Option key at the end of this to get these squiggly lines on the audio file, and we're just going to drag it out. And that's going to drag out the sample to the length that we need. Because it's not like a easy sample to loop, we're going to have to work with it this way. And Then we're going to copy this over and we're going to stretch it out a little bit longer to the halfway point on the last bar. And we're going to pitch it up 2 semitones. So 1, 2. Whoa. Let's bring that back here now. And then we're going to copy this again. And we're going to make this down 2 semitones to match the pattern. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to drag this back. And it's going to sound like this. Now, because we stretched out the sample, we get like this weird sound that's happening on the sample. It's like this really resonant sound in there. So we're going to clean that up with an EQ. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like here. I'm just going to take one of these EQ points over here. I'm going to pitch it up, not pitch it up. I'm going to increase the signal over here so you really hear what's happening around like this frequency right here. Let's go ahead and make this very narrow. So you hear that resonant sound? We don't want it. So we're going to take that out. So we're just going to bring that all the way down here. So that fixes it on the top note, but on the first note, we also get a resonant sound. So we're going to take this and we're going to push it up and it's around the 1460 mark. So I'm going to do a little sweep and you'll hear what I mean here. So let me just pull this up here. So you see how it kind of squeals like that? So we want to take that out. So we're going to pull, whoa, let's just undo that. We're going to bring that down as well. And that just cleans up the sample. Before, if you take a listen, you'll hear those resonant peaks here. It sounds like a tea kettle. It's kind of annoying. And then with it on, cleans up the sample. Maybe I'll just take a little bit of the top end and the bottom end out here. But if you're interested in knowing the notes of that pattern, it goes, here, I'll just drag this into a quick sampler. It goes something like this. It just goes from a, it goes from a D to an E to a C. Next up, let's get to that guitar. For that sound, we're going to start off with a clav sound, actually. Vintage clav, we'll go to experimental, and we'll go to the dub clav preset. We'll turn off the tape delay for now. Let's go and draw on that pattern, and then get to some sound design. So we'll try and mimic an actual strumming pattern here. So we'll just start layering in some notes just to fill this out a bit. All right, we'll stretch this out and then we're going to select all of our notes. We're going to quantize this to 16 over here. And we're going to just add in some strum to make it a little bit more lively sounding. Just a little bit. Maybe this strum pattern will bring back a little bit here. So that's a little bit too all hitting on the same velocity. Let's make that a little bit better. So we'll go to functions, we'll go to mini transform, and we'll go to random velocity. I'm going to go to something low here. We'll go select and operate. I'll change all the notes to a random velocity, except these two I want to be a little harder for that chord stab. Maybe I want everything a little louder. So select all that, bring it all louder relatively. We'll bring this down a bit. All right, next, let's get to some sound design. We'll just, first thing we're gonna do is just turn on the medium filter and pull up the pickup up to D. Kind of makes it a little fuller. And we're just gonna pull our key and pickup all the way. Let's pull up our key here. Makes it a little bit wider. Next, let's go ahead and put in some space with some reverb. So we'll go Control Command P, Logic's Chroma Verb, and let's use the default setting that loads up. This last note should be a little quieter. All right, and then all together it sounds like this. Layer that Clav with a guitar. So for that, we'll create a new software instrument track. We'll go over to our library browser. We will go to World. We'll go to Stringed, and we'll go to the Spanish flamenco guitar. We'll copy down the same pattern, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring this down 1 octave. And then we'll group them together, add a little bit of EQ and some chorus just to soften it up. So let's select both tracks, go Shift Command G, bring in EQ. We'll just take a little bit of the lows out, boost the highs. Makes it ever so a little brighter. Maybe we'll bring this reverb we put on the Clav to this main track. And we'll bring in some chorus here. Let's go to Modulation Chorus. And we'll just use a preset here. Let's find one. Mega wide is fine. Bring it down to volume. Of course, all those sounds don't play all together at the same time, but this is just the full arrangement, and I'll break it out for the arrangement. Next, let's go ahead and get to one more sound that we missed here, and that is the reverse crash. We're gonna have to add in a reverb, but this is what it sounds like on its own. And we kind of want that to build out with some reverb. So let's go Control Command P. We'll bring in Logic's Chroma Verb. And we'll use the default setting that loads up. I'm just going to make this a longer decay so that it rings out a bit. Bring down the wet a bit. All right, so with everything, it sounds like this. Let's just give ourselves... Section A of the track, then we get to section B. So we're going to copy over the 808. We'll copy over the, what are we going to copy over? The Vox. We'll copy over the brass, and we'll copy over the guitar stuff. And we're going to put in a new, we'll put in a new 808 pattern first and foremost. So let's go ahead and open that up. And it just goes like this. We're just going to take out the notes really. All we're going to do is just bring this down. Everything's going to be hitting on the D. All right, and then we get that new snare clap sound. So we got it right here. I think this is it here. So it's going to put it on the 2 and 4. So let's go 2 and 4. Next, we get that new hi-hat pattern. So it's basically just a 2-step pattern, except you get a little 2-step happening over there. That little blank spot that we have in the hi-hat pattern, Pharrell put in another open hat. If I can find it here, I think it's this one over here. It just happens on the 3 over here. All right, so that is section A and section B. And then for the intro, it's a slightly different pattern. So once again, we just start on the D. Let's make this nice and loud. Then for the snare, all right, take that out. And we get this snare over here. Make sure I'm on the right notes. Oh, right notes. Oh, that's not on 4. Then we layer that 808 with a different kick. Let's just copy down this pattern. It's the exact same thing, except we got to make sure the kick is on the right note value. Sounds like we got to go up. All right. And layered with the kick. The snare. Then we bring in that secondary snare once again. And then we get that open hat as well. And that's the intro. So that right there is your remake to F.I.C.O by Clipse featuring Steve God Cooks. Next what I'm going to do is mix it, arrange it, and when we come back, we'll take a listen to how everything sounds together. There is the remake to F.I.C.O by Clipse featuring Steve God Cooks. For your Logic Pro users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you. Place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. Go ahead and explore mini stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, go chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.